I apologize in advance because this is another kit video, but we just got these two new creator kits for The Sims 4, and for the first time they were made entirely by CC creators. Like, the CC creators made the entire kit, all of the items, all by themselves, and I am so obsessed with the build items from the Cozy Kitsch kit, so I really want to use them some more and kind of put them to the test. I made a video yesterday that I'll link down below where I built with just the base game and the new kit, and I think that's helpful for testing out a pack just to kind of see how it works on its own, but it's also helpful to test them out with other packs and see how they play with other items. So that's what we're gonna do today. This one is the unlimited pack Cozy Kitsch build. And I actually built this over on my Twitch channel first, so I'll link my Twitch channel down below in case you wanna go follow me there. I stream pretty much every day on Twitch and we play a lot of The Sims. There's actually a brand new My Sims game coming out next week, so I'll be playing that a lot over on my Twitch channel. So make sure you're following me there so you don't miss out. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, I decided to build this one in Oasis Springs in the beginning because I did set out thinking that it was going to be a limited pack build, and it very quickly became not a limited pack build. So I built it here on this 30 by 20 lot in Oasis Springs. My game just crashed. Well, it's a good thing I didn't need it. That scared me. Like, looked away for a second and all of a sudden the game was gone. Okay, well, I guess that's a good time for me to jump into the speed build then. Well, it's a good thing I already built this, so we've got footage of it and I don't need the game to work right now. The Sims 4 has really been testing my patience recently, but anyway, I set out to build a house that sort of had a mid-century modern sort of vibe. It almost has like a little bit of a 70s vibe to it as well. We've got some fun features like a sunken living room. I used a lot of platforms on this house, which was a regrettable decision. We had some weird shadow glitches happening, but it is what it is. It's The Sims 4. I can't sit here and act surprised. Like I said, it's been testing my patience recently, but I used platforms for the roof to get this kind of cool roof overhang. I also put the whole house up on some platforms, so what that means is I used platforms instead of a foundation. So it's medium wall height, but then I raised the platform up, so it's basically short wall height inside. It's just a little bit more customizable than a foundation because we can put the platforms up against each other. I was able to get some kind of cool custom stairs that I built out of platforms. Whenever I do this, I get questions like, you know, why would you use these platforms instead of stairs? And really it just has to do with customization because there's a lot more platform trims than there are like foundation trims. So doing it like this gave me some more options, and it also gives us a little bit more variety for me trying to have sunken living rooms and stuff because it's already on a platform. I'm able to do some different cool platform things inside too. You definitely don't have to do this though. In fact, it's more of a pain than it's worth a lot of the time. It's really annoying to use platforms, but you can definitely make it work. It's just kind of a process to do it. You can kind of see what I mean with those custom platform stairs that I built there in the front. I've got like really big, long, wide stairs going up to the front door. As far as the color scheme goes, I was trying to go for a lot of wood, like dark wood paneling and brick accents on the outside. So you'll see us kind of get to that in a minute. Again, it kind of fit that sort of 70s vibes with the paneling. And I really liked the idea of the dark wood tones and then the pops of color from the kit because the kit has so many fun, bright colors and patterns. I thought they would look really nice up against those dark wood tones. If you watched my video from yesterday where I built another sort of mid-century house, this house could not be more different. First of all, it's a lot bigger, but also the color scheme is totally different. So it's fun to use this pack in a few different ways. Obviously, a lot of the furniture is the same in these two builds because it's the same kit furniture, but the colors, the way it's applied is totally different. You can see on the outside, we've got snowy escape windows. I like these because they're big glass windows, but they're a little bit shorter than a full short wall height. So they fit pretty nicely in more spaces because sometimes the full panel is just a little bit too much. So I put those pretty much everywhere. I also used the Desert Luxe Kit door as the back door. It's kind of just like an open archway. It's like a sliding door that's open, but it looks like a door. I like it for this. I put it back there. I have not placed a front door yet because I didn't know what I wanted it to look like. So I went back and forth a lot on that. We placed the front door like way later on in the video. Right now we're thinking about floor plan, and this I also went back and forth on so much. It's actually embarrassing to watch this back because I really had no idea how I wanted to do this. I knew I wanted to split up the rooms to have at least 3 bedrooms in this house, but it's such a weird shape. The house is kind of shaped like a cake with like some tiers happening. And so anywhere I put the stairs, it just didn't quite work how I wanted it to. So there was a lot of back and forth. I ended up having a really big hallway and then a big bedroom upstairs. There's 2 ensuite bathrooms right now, but I end up switching that out too. In the end, it becomes 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. There's a bedroom downstairs and a bathroom downstairs. And there's also 2 bedrooms upstairs, kind of like a big stair landing office upstairs and then also one bathroom upstairs. I ended up making the bigger bedroom even bigger and stealing one of the bathrooms to make like a sitting area in the bedroom. It's hard to explain right now, but you'll see it once I get onto the interior. It makes a little bit more sense. Just know there was a lot of mind changing about this build with the floor plan. Sometimes I get comments that are like, oh my gosh, like you do the floor plan so easily, Kayla, it makes me feel so bad, but it's not always easy and it comes with a lot of practice. So don't worry, we have all struggled with floor plans many times in our lives with this game. But now we're getting to the fun part because I'm starting to think about furniture finally. And this is where I got to use some really wacky things. Again, I am asking you to trust the process. Every time in these speed builds, I'm like, listen, I know it looks weird, but trust me. So what I'm using here in this kitchen is actually like a wall decor panel from the Party Essentials kit. It looks like a tile backsplash, but it's not a wallpaper. It's actually a wall panel that's 2 tiles wide. This is meant to be like a photo backdrop, I think, in the Party Essentials kit, but when that kit came out, I used it as a kitchen backsplash and I loved it. So I thought I might try it again in here because it kind of has the same colors and it has that like slight checker pattern that a lot of the stuff from this kit has. And then I paired it with the Home Chef Hustle kitchen cabinets and I realized the Home Chef Hustle cabinets match the swatches from this kit perfectly. And this is the beauty of them working with a CC creator to do this, because CC creators think about stuff like that. Like they are simmers, so they know. So they know how to give us like the perfect tiling cabinets. We get the perfect swatches that match other packs. They even give us a full couch set with the 3 wide, the 2 wide, and the 1 wide couches. It is so nice to have a person with like that eye for detail working on these packs. Obviously the Sims team has that too, but I think that people who play The Sims and like play The Sims for a living, like a lot of modders do, they just know better. I think they're more in tune with the community. Like us, they have been obsessively following and playing this game forever. So they're really good about knowing what we're looking for. Anytime they do a collab kit, I swear they just like knock it out of the park. So it's fun to have this one again now too. The next couple of minutes of this speed build are gonna be kind of weird because it's a lot of me placing down furniture, trying to figure out how I want it to be laid out. And it's not necessarily color chosen. So I'm just putting stuff in and I'll come back and fix it afterward. One of the things that I really liked was this bar underneath the stairs. That's actually a bar from the Party Essentials kit. I don't want this to seem like me promoting the Party Essentials kit because I feel strongly that that kit is kind of a waste of money. But there are like 3 items from that kit that are really good. The bar, the record player, and I think this wall paneling are really solid items. There's also a nice speaker. It's like a really tiny wall speaker, but there's just so many random things from it, like balloons and just stuff that you don't need. Like you will be fine if you don't have the Party Essentials kit. I would recommend any other kit over it just because it's nicer to have a more complete build set. Like if you're just gonna buy one, I really don't think that Party Essentials is the one to get. Obviously it's personal preference, like you might love that stuff and that's perfect. And obviously it's a different style, but when there's things like the Country Kitchen kit that have the whole kitchen set, I would way rather choose that over like streamers for a party set, you know? But saying that, I did use quite a bit of the Party Essentials kit in this build. So here I am using it all over the place after I just complained about it. Now keep in mind, this was the first thing that I built with this pack. I've posted them on YouTube out of order, but this is what I built first. So part of the footage that you're gonna see does involve me just kind of experimenting with swatches because I wasn't as familiar with what the pack comes with yet at this point. It took me some time to figure it out. And I guess one final disclaimer is that I did really use all of the stuff from this pack, including like the same stuff multiple times. So you're gonna see me use that checkered rug a lot in this build, but I think it's okay because I was really trying to use all the stuff from the kit. And if that involves me using the same thing more than once, I think it's fine. Normally I'd try to avoid that because you don't want to have the same rug like 4 times in a house, but with the kit being the focus of the video, I think it's okay. And now we have finally painted the exterior. So it's kind of coming together. You can see the vision a little bit more. I used the Growing Together really dark wood paneling outside. I put wood paneling on the roof, and then I've got a City Living dark brick color in there. On the inside, I used the brick a lot, and I also used some of the Book Nook kit paneling on the interior a fair bit. You're gonna laugh, but at this point of the video, I still thought that I was limiting packs. So I was like, oh no, I guess I can use Growing Together. And then it very quickly devolved into, oh no, I guess I'll just use any kit anywhere ever. So I started putting in the Pastel Pop kit, which by the way, matches really well with this pack. It fits super nicely together. And then it was all downhill from here. So we're working on the living room now, and I think think the living room is my favorite part of this house. It's sunk in, so it's down a couple of steps from the rest of the house. I had originally put like a cork floor from the base game because that does fit the style, like this mid-century style, but I don't think I like the cork floor. I keep trying to use it in this kind of house, and I don't think I've ever successfully used it in a build before. Let me know if you like that floor and if you've done it. I picked this like shaggier carpet instead, and I think it works too. We've got the fireplace behind the living room. I've got the record player. We've got a big TV in here, and there's also some bookshelves kind of tucked underneath the windows. Now, the TV stand is actually a bookshelf. Those yellow things are bookshelves and the wooden ones are bookshelves. I put them both. It's worth it. It looks really good. They match. It's cute. Like, I'm gonna keep it, but I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of books happening in this house. It's kind of like my dream, you know? These Sims are living my real life dream. On those back bookshelves, I put a mixture of the ones that have open shelving and the ones that are fully books because I wanted to be able to put a couple bits of clutter, but I didn't want to overdo it. And now I'm starting to think about interior wallpaper, and this was so hard. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I liked the Book Nook kit panels and I liked the brick. As far as other wallpapers, I wasn't sure what was best. For a time, I thought about trying a painted brick, and a lot of people in my Twitch chat liked that. I liked it too, but I think I liked the dark brick just because it fit the vibes a bit better. Like, I used the painted brick in the video that I posted yesterday, but in this one, I wanted to have more of a true brick. I also think that the colors pop a lot better up against the darker brown brick wall, so I kept it. Hopefully you like it. And then most of the other walls are just white, or like kind of a creamy white, I guess, because I didn't want to overdo it because there's so much color already. I didn't want to put like a bright red wall. I probably could have, but I don't know. I have a hard time with really chaotic color schemes. So I tried to keep it a little bit more toned down. I know you're looking at this and thinking like, toned down. That's not toned down, but it was to me. It could have been worse. So I do think the living room is my favorite part of the house. I really liked decorating it. It was so fun. I think the layout works really well. It took some time to get there, but in the end, I think it ended up working out really nicely. I'm adding a couple of extra things like some curtains into this room. I used the Desert Luxe Kit curtains in here. I was able to size one of them down and put them above those bookshelves. I was struggling with the curtains for a bit because all the curtains that I was trying were clipping into the bookshelves and I didn't want that. But when they sized down, they did work. It's rare that you're able to successfully size down a curtain in this game. So that was kind of like a miracle that it worked out, but it all fit fine, thankfully, in that room. And while I sit here struggling with wallpaper colors, I guess now is maybe a good time for a life update because I tend to at least drop a couple of those in these speed builds. I think I talked in my last speed build about my wedding planning quite a bit, and I said that I had my dress fitting this week. They rescheduled it. I didn't get to go to my dress fitting. It was supposed to be on Wednesday, and then they called and they were like, hey, we're so sorry, but we have a lot of November brides, so we're super busy and we didn't finish it. So now I have to go in December instead. My wedding is not for a few months. Like, it's not a problem, but I was sad because I was all hyped to go and see it and then I didn't get to. I also told everybody on the internet and I didn't get to go and see it. Not that it matters. Like, I wouldn't have shown you a picture or anything anyway, but for me personally, I was excited to go and I didn't get to. I did finally buy the shoes that I'm gonna wear to the wedding, so that's good. We've got that sorted. And I've also been working on thrifting little frames recently. That's my other big update. I've seen people online do stuff where they have like wedding photos from their family members put up in frames kind of around, and there's like a fireplace mantle at the wedding venue. And I really liked the idea of getting like my grandparents' wedding photos, my parents, Dan's parents, and we like could put those up in those little frames. So I've been trying to get some collections of little frames that will match together to do that. I haven't printed any photos yet. I wanted to get the frames first and then see what sizes I needed to do, but that's what I'm aiming for. So that's my current plan there. I also bought pajamas for me and my sister and Dan's sister to wear when we're getting ready. I've seen a lot of people do that where they have like bridesmaid robes and like cute things like that. I didn't want to buy anything that had like the word bridesmaid on it because I don't think that's very functional long term. So I bought cute matching pajamas, but it doesn't have like anything written on it, so hopefully they can wear them again in the future. And I also got us slippers, which I thought was so funny because the new sleepwear kit literally has the exact slippers that I bought. They're like fuzzy and they kind of have a crisscross, and they're exactly the same as the ones that are in the kit, which was so weird because I bought the slippers in the morning, kit comes out at 1 p.m, same thing. Weird coincidence, but I like them clearly because I bought them in real life. But I think that just about covers all the wedding updates for this week. I won't talk about it too much, but I know some people are curious. And as we're approaching closer to the day, it is consuming me a little bit. Well, we're finally finally upstairs now at this point of the build. I did furnish the bathrooms and I cut it out of the speed build just because I was really indecisive about them, but I will show you them in the tour at the end. I always go back through and tour everything at the end of the video, so I will show you the bathrooms. There's two, one downstairs, one upstairs. This space upstairs is like a really big hallway, and I was really unsure about it because I don't love having hallways this big in The Sims. I think it's kind of a waste of space sometimes, and I always am thinking like, wow, it'd be nice if I could have an extra bathroom up here instead. But I tried to turn it into like a really dedicated office space up here. There's some cute sitting areas. I was thinking about putting maybe a games table, maybe a chess table. I ended up swapping this out for a keyboard instead, which I think is pretty nice. We were all joking on my stream about how annoying this would be to take your Zoom calls in because the staircase is directly behind you. So if you're like trying to be on a Zoom call, the entire house is just up and down the stairs behind you. The kid starts playing the piano behind you in the same room. This would be a terrible place to take those calls, but it's fine. It's fine. It's The Sims. They don't have Zoom. I do like it as an office space though. It's a nice sort of like skill building room, which I think is a better way to use the space instead of it just being a hallway. I know you all make fun of me for always putting desks in my stair landings, but I think it's nice. It's nice. It's easy access for everybody. It's a good way to use the space that's actually usable instead of just putting like another bookshelf and a plant. But anyway, we're finally doing the bedroom. And this room, I'm sorry. Trust the process again. It's so weird. I know it's so weird. I was using this like avocado shaped rug and I was going back and forth so much about the nightstands. I wanted to use the Decor to the Max kit ones because I hate those nightstands and I never use them. I honestly don't think I've ever used those nightstands from that kit. They have like that bluish toned glass and then the gold legs to them. And I think it's the glass that I don't like. And so I've never managed to find a place where they worked. And I thought that maybe color scheme wise, they could fit in this room, but I think that style wise, they don't match. So I ended up deleting them and I used the pastel pop tile ones instead. So I'm sorry that you had to see them like this. I do end up removing it. And you might have just seen, there was this really weird moment where I got this pop-up about me owning new content. So the game like popped up saying I owned the Cozy Kitsch kit and the sleepwear kit. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I know. I bought them earlier. Like why did that pop up just now? I had never seen that happen to me in game before. It was like really weird that it happened then. Well, I discovered later on that the reason that happened at 6:08. And at 6:08, I also got my emails about my refunds for the kits. So in case you missed this drama, the other day when they first launched these kits, they were priced wrong on the EA app. Only in the US and the UK for some reason, and only on the EA app. Everywhere else, it was $5 as it should be, like on Steam, on console. But on the EA app, the kits were $10 by accident. This was obviously a mistake. They very quickly corrected it, but some of us bought the kits immediately. Like I bought the kits for $10 when they first launched. I figured it was a mistake, but I just bought them anyway because I was honestly kind of curious to see what would happen. I figured like if it's gonna happen to anyone, let it happen to me because then I can tell you about it. So I paid $20 total instead of $10 for the two kits. They quickly addressed it. They quickly fixed the price. So they're back to being $5 as they should have been. And they promised that everybody who bought them for the wrong price would get a refund. But it was weird because they refunded it completely and then like took the pack away. So you'd have to buy it again, like start from scratch, buy it fresh. And I just so happened to be in the game playing with the kits when they took the kits away. So what happened was I got that pop-up because that's when my Sims 4 game lost access to them. But because I still had the game open, they were still installed. I didn't like lose them in the game or anything. But if I had closed my game, they would have been gone. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was kind of weird timing that I just happened to be in the game as it happened. And that's why those pop-ups happen. Super weird. Had never seen that before. I mean, it's not normal that you would like lose access to a pack. Like you wouldn't normally have it be refunded from you and gone while you're actively playing with it. So my update on that is that I did get my money back. I got refunded for both of the kits and I had to buy them again this morning and I just bought them again, this time for the correct price. So all is right with the world. Everything is fine again. We've got the kits again. It's okay. Kind of an interesting experiment, I guess. I'm glad that it happened to me and not you, but it probably did happen to some of you and I'm sorry if that's the case, but hopefully it's fixed for you as well. This last room upstairs is the kids' room. I'll come back to the game for a second because I've been yapping about nothing for too long. And in this kids' room, I used that same rug again. I know I put it everywhere, but I decorated that one with a little bit of kids' stuff. And then downstairs, we've got an extra bedroom. I had originally built this room to be an office. That was before I had done the upstairs floor plan and like knew that the hallway was gonna be an office. So that was the original plan. I ended up making it in this version. It ended up up becoming a teenager's bedroom. So we've got 3 bedrooms total. I used a lot of the pastel pop kit in this bedroom, including the pastel pop kit bed. The rug that you're seeing is from Decor to the Max. I think that the Decor to the Max kit also works pretty well with this pack. Not the nightstand though. Everything but the nightstand. I don't know if I like that kit. I keep trying to use it, and every time I try, I realize that I don't like most of the stuff in it. I never use most of the stuff in it. It does have some good wallpapers in Decor to the Max. I like a couple of swatches on this rug. There's like a giraffe statue that I like, but for the most part, I think that's one of my least favorite kits. I think it's partially a me problem because I'm not very good at executing that style. Like that sort of maximalist style is just not really my vibe, so I have a hard time making it work in the game. I don't think I'm a good pattern mixer. Like when there's a lot of patterns in a room, I struggle to make them look good together. Even with cottage living, I have a hard time with that sometimes. Some people have a real knack for it and like a real eye for it. I'm not some people. I don't have that talent, unfortunately. So this teen's bedroom kind of has an artist vibe to it. I used a fair bit of the artist studio kit in here. I know, another kit, I'm sorry. But I put like an art easel and a tablet and stuff like that. And now the interior is complete. So we're working on doing the exterior stuff now, like finishing touches on landscaping, the pool, the backyard, all that kind of stuff. I think that I am really bad at landscaping houses like this. I have always thought this. I have never been good about this sort of like desert style landscaping. It's because my preference for landscaping is a way more like overgrown, lots of greenery, flowers, like lots and lots of plants. And I just don't think that that really works in Oasis Springs. You definitely can do it, and I have before, but for this house, I wanted to fit those desert vibes a little bit more, and I just don't know if I did a very good job. So I'm sorry if you don't like the landscaping. I tried. I tried. The whole backyard is kind of based around this pool that I've put in the middle. I put some lounge chairs. I have a bar and a grill sort of area. There's a dining table. I even put a fire pit. I did kind of rearrange this backyard. You'll see it in a second, and I had to try and fix the landscaping because of it. I did a couple things that were a little controversial too. Like I keep using those metal chairs from City Living outside because they match the table so perfectly. That's the perfect patio table, and it's got like a metal frame to it, and there's these metal chairs from City Living, and so I like to use them as dining chairs outdoors because it matches so well. The only problem is a metal chair in the hot Oasis Springs sun is like everybody's worst nightmare. That would be so bad. It would like burn you sitting on that chair. Thankfully it's The Sims, so you're fine, but I'm sorry about that. I use it anyway. I also put a lot of the Desert Luxe kit outside. I've got chairs and lounge chairs from it, and a little bit of the Riviera Retreat kit too, because I think I've got a pool trim from Riviera Retreat. I've got like a little tray of drinks from that pack. This is, again, I use so many packs in here. Usually I try to not use as many kits all in one build, but this one I just kept going. I just kept going and going and going. I'm still feeling a little bit unsure about the floor pattern too. I used that base game flooring, but like in one of the new brown swatches. I guess it's not that new anymore, but they had a massive flooring swatch update a while back when Horse Ranch came out. So over a year ago, but they added a lot of swatches to base game like outdoor tiles and stuff. This is one of them. This is that like blue and gray base game floor that used to only have one swatch. Now it has a handful, and I don't think I've used the brown one yet, so I tried it. I think it looks cool with the pool trim from the Riviera Retreat kit. I think that it looks nice with the color of the house. I just don't know if I like it in general, but I tried. Story of this video is that I tried. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so I did what I could. I've got a bunch of Strangerville debug landscaping with the different cactus plants and some rocks and stuff, and that pretty much covers all of it. So we're just about done with the build now. Once I finish putting some last minute finishing touches on it, we're gonna pop back into the game and I'll give you a tour of the finished product, because I know that I've kind of sped around a little bit and it's hard to follow. So I'll show you everything in a little bit more detail in game for real, if I can get my game open, because it did crash earlier. The last thing I did was terrain paint, which I would always recommend doing last because the game is kind of glitchy and it likes to delete your terrain paint. If you do it last, you run less risk of that happening to you multiple times. Trust me, I know, it happens to me a lot. But now the build is completely finished. So like I was telling you earlier, I built this over here on this 30 by 20 lot in Oasis Springs. On the gallery, I called it Mid-Century Cozy Kitsch, and it costs just about 105,000 simoleons, which is so bad. And the packs, look at this, that's 14. This is 28 total, 34. I used 34 packs in this build. I don't know if the holiday celebration installation pack counts. So maybe 33. We use 33 packs in this build. A lot of kits, a lot of stuff packs, so many expansion packs. This is embarrassing. But it was for science, so it was worth it. This is what the outside looks like. I will say I really like the exterior of this. I think it's really cool. I like this staircase, especially with the different lights going up it. I think the landscaping is decent. Not good, but not bad. It's kind of an interesting shape as well with the weird overhang on the roof and stuff. Around the back, when you come out this way, I really like the backyard. We've got a big patio staircase set up right here. There's kind of a bar and grill area with a pizza oven. This is that fire pit I had mentioned. We also have some lounge chairs, a drink tray. And if you look at this, I ended up adding last minute a little fountain and a pool ladder into the pool. I also put a swing set in the back. So that's kind of an overview of all of the outside. When you come inside, this is like a top-down view of the main floor. Right by the front door, we've got a table with some clutter. I also put like some keys and some bags hung up. When you look straight ahead, it's mostly just hallway, so you can go into the bathroom or go upstairs. To the left, we have the living room, which like I mentioned earlier, I think is my favorite part. I really like how this space looks. I think color scheme wise, it's really pretty. It's also, oh no, I didn't notice that. Oh God, I'm so sorry. The lamp is gonna be clipping into the curtain if you download it off the gallery. I apologize, I didn't notice that. In my defense, nobody in my Twitch chat noticed it either, okay? None of us noticed. Let's just pretend that didn't happen, okay? But you have a record player here. We've got a massive, very expensive TV. And then up the stairs again, I put like a little shelf with some decor, and this is the downstairs bathroom. I really liked the color scheme in here. This is a bowling night stuff flooring. It's like a bowling night linoleum. I used Get Famous sinks right here. We've got the toilet. There's a shower tub combo. Further down the hallway kind of wraps around the stairs, and we've got a big kitchen, which I also love. I just love this funky tile. It's so weird in such a fun way. The kitchen also has a bunch of extra things, like we've got a stand mixer, it's got a dishwasher, and then down this way I've got the bar and also the dining table. This house has 2 bars in it, which is probably unnecessary, but it at least looks good together. There's also a downstairs bedroom. So this is that artist's teen room that I was talking about. Upstairs we've got that big hallway with the office and the keyboard. This is the little kids room. I tried to put some things that I don't normally use, like the iPad and the art tablet downstairs. This kid also has a little science table, although I didn't put a fire alarm. Maybe I should have. This is a risk. I'm sure we'll be fine. And then over here we have the primary bedroom. So this is where there used to be an extra bathroom, kind of where this small living space is. I ended up removing it. We've got a big bedroom area. I think this rug is so weird in such a fun way. They've got a little dresser, and then they have their own small living section in this space. They also have an ensuite bathroom upstairs. It's not very big, but it's functional. And that's the entire house. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. I really like this build. I really like the interior. I think this kit is super fun. Tomorrow, I'm gonna post one more kit build video. I'm gonna make a starter home with it. I think that's like the trifecta of new pack content. Limited pack build, unlimited pack build, starter home. So I'm gonna post all 3 on YouTube. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following me on Twitch so you don't miss my next stream. I'm very excited for My Sims to come out this week, so we're gonna play a ton of that. I'll link that down below for you, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. Actually, tell me, are you excited about My Sims like I am? The thought of playing My Sims Kingdom again fills me with such an unimaginable amount of joy. That was my first ever Sims game. I cannot wait to play it again.